Hey, Mark, thanks for joining me. Great to see you.
Hey, my pleasure. Good to see you.
Hey, everybody, of course, knows Mark Crawford, Stag and Doe, Birds and the Bees, New Canadian Curling Club that audiences are still, of course, raving about. We toured Boys, Girls, and Other Mythological Creatures. You were, of course, were on stage in pandemic times with Chase the Ace, and most recently, I guess, on stage with By the Light of a Story. So our audiences are super familiar with you. And now Bed and Breakfast, which is like a monster hit. Audiences are loving it. They leap to their feet every night at the end of the show. Why? What's that magic Crawford comedy thing that you do? How do you do that?
I don't know. I mean, I think in the case of bed and breakfast in particular, the leap to your feet thing is so much about what a tour de force it is for actors that
Right.
you just watched for 2 hours. You've watched two people play 20 characters in rapid fire succession, never leave the stage, never take a breath. Um, and with these guys, never really even break a sweat. So it's like this kind of this tour de force. It really is
Yeah.
a tour de force for actors. And so I think audiences have a great time and laugh a lot and are very moved by the play, but also just like that temptation to applaud those actors who did that amazing thing in front of you
Yeah. But as
is
a writer,
pretty
because I
infectious.
know that you wrote this play, it was 2015, I think, that you wrote the play.
Yeah,
It's been
premiered in
on it's been
2015.
on my list to produce for years, and finally here we are, and so thrilled with the production. Stuart's done a lovely job, and Adrian and Warren are both, as you say, it's a tour de force. It's brilliant. But Mark, where do you think that a play like this or the work that you're creating lately, again, to put it in the context of like where we're at kind of in the world, what do you, when you sit down to write, does that sort of enter into your process around, I think people are just so thrilled with the production because it's so heartfelt. It's a romance. It's a romance and everyone falls in love with the characters and watching them that love. Do you consciously sit down sometimes to reflect on those things as a writer?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like there's big universal things in the play that I think anyone can relate to, like the search for home and the search for family, and uh, that idea of a couple who like they are each other's home and they are each other's family. I think that that is a really universal uh, thing that we share. And then I think a lot about like the world that we live in and the communities that we live in and the challenges that people face and trying to reflect those things on stage for a broader audience. And in the case of bed and breakfast, yeah, I thought a lot about representation of
Mm.
gay people, especially gay couples, and their stories in smaller communities. We have lots of examples of uh, stories of gay people in big cities, but not as many stories about queer folks living in small town Canada.
Right.
Um, trying to make a go of it and run their bed and breakfast and the ups and downs of that.
And I think it really touches our community, maybe all communities, but in ours, it just strikes me in particular because our community is such a mix of,
Yeah.
old, rural, and also a lot of us who have made the decision to come from big urban centers to live in this community. So it really, and all of your plays, you really know that small town vibe. Like you really capture that. Where does that come from?
Well, I mean, I grew up in like rural southwestern Ontario. I grew up on a farm just outside of Glencoe. And I live in Stratford, which is like, I guess the sign says it's a city, but it's like still in many ways a small town. And and I've spent a lot of time working in, you know, Orangeville, Port Stanley, Port Dover, Gananoque, all these places. People really often try to figure out what the town is in bed and breakfast. Like, and depending on where it is in the province or the country, people will go, I know what town you're writing about. But it is sort of, it's an unnamed town that could be lots of places.
Right.
And I have great affection for those communities and for small town Canada and for the audiences that go to see shows there. this play in particular is interesting because it's had a lot of productions in big cities as well. So
Right.
it's it is really a kind of urban rural play where
Yeah.
those two worlds meet.
I
I
I think
joked once that it's like, or someone joked to me once that they were like, "Oh, have you written like the gay Wingfield?" I was like, "Oh my God, I think I have."
I think I have.
Yeah,
Somebody was commenting, an audience member was commenting the other night, just I guess it's that facility that the boys have to, where they just flip from character to character to character.
yeah.
They said that it was a little bit reminiscent of Wingfield and that sort of sense of it being of that sort of, rural. I think another audience member came up to me and said, he's writing about Orangeville. He even mentioned that there's a glass store on the main street, just like we have. So
Right.
I can totally get how every community, wherever it plays, really, and that's the beauty of the play is because it resonates so deeply for every community I think that it plays in, right? Like,
I think
um,
so. And I think that because the play's not just about those two guys, it's about the whole community, their family, their friends, people they meet. There's young people, old people, their neighbors, all of that. So we get to see a snapshot of this whole place rather than um, just see it from the perspective of two people. We get a whole bunch of different perspectives and a different characters we meet along the way. Yeah.
yeah, they're every single one of them is so true and so real, and both, Adrian, and there's been such craft brought to the production of making it would be so or it would be possible, I guess, to make them just sort of cartoons and make them caricatures of people, but every single one of them is written so truthfully and so clearly and portrayed so beautifully on stage that every single one of them, I especially love the little girl at the Santa Claus parade wanting the purple jeans. Sorry, that
Yeah,
was spoiler alert.
no spoiler alert,
But
but she
every
does,
little nuance, every little character
yeah,
is
that she
really
appears for like sort of one, two lines or something, right? But we get this little snapshot of this like 6-year-old girl for one moment. Yeah.
with the real Santa. Yeah, it's brilliant. Mark, thank you. It's a brilliant play. I'm absolutely thrilled with the production. It's just bringing such joy and such hope and such love to our community. Couldn't ask for more. It's an absolutely sensational work, and thank you so much for sharing your talents with us, both as a writer and as an actor, and continue to do so. So
Thanks,
thank you so
David.
much.
Thanks for doing it. It's a
No,
pleasure.
it's such a treat. It just my heart just what is it like the Grinch just grows 3 times its size or whatever it is every time I see it. But thanks, my
Ah,
friend.
that's
It's
nice.
it's an amazing piece of work. Thank you so much.
Thanks.